I am issuing out a disclaimer. I am not in the occult, witchcraft, magic, or any other secret societies. I am clearly acting upon my own observation and giving my own conclusions. It is all in my own opinion. If anything, I'm using the scientific method, and the first step in the scientific method is observations, period. This is Lord Nomad, the nomadic one. I'm here to talk about something that's deadly serious, the moon ritual prophecy. I'll be talking about it in 3 parts: the moon, the ritual, and the prophecy. As you well know, the world is ran by 3 different things: symbols, ritual, and sacrifices. I believe there's an event coming up in the year 2024 that will be very dire and significant to the level of maybe a 9/11. Now, what does the moon symbolizes? The moon symbolizes a quick Google search, and now they got a new AI overview. States it in a couple of parts: time, nature, light, emotions, and femininity. Now I just want to focus on the 2, which is change, which is pretty much time, and the femininity. Now I'm going to give you the definition of what they say. The symbolic reference to the moon in time is the moon cycle and phases can represent a rhythm of time, the stages of human development, and the cyclical nature of life and the universe. The cyclical nature of life in the universe. Now we're going to go down to femininity. The crescent moon can be associated with feminine energy, while the moon itself can symbolize darkness, mystery, and renewal. So we're going to go back on those 2 representations: change and femininity. Let's not forget that. What are the signs of the moon ritual prophecy? Well, I believe the signs is going to reference something that's going to happen in the past, the present, and the future. Now, as you well know, ever since I believe this ritual is going to take place somewhere between this is taking place right now between the year 2016 and 2024. And ever since Flat Earth came out in, I believe the open out party was like around 2016. And what they cleverly did was call out NASA. They called out NASA real tough and said, why y'all never put a female on the moon or a different diversity on the moon? Why y'all ain't never did that? And sure enough, in 2019, NASA responded and launched a whole new re-energized mission to go to the moon, to stay on the moon, and to build further endeavors to Mars, so on and so forth. But that's nothing new that, NASA's going to fake a moon mission. They've been poking the eye that the last ones were fake in 1969. And now they want a fake one in that's coming up in 2024, but of course that's been delayed, that's been pushed back. But I want to talk about the signs of them really poking you in the eye that a ritual is approaching from 2016 to 2024. You know that the CIA is an arm of the military industrial complex of the intelligence agency, and they inadvertently control all communication in America. And the number one outlet for that communication, of course, is Hollyweird. It's one of their outlets, their major outlet. So they, at this stage in the game, anything broadcast to the masses is disinformation, distraction, misdirection, subliminal messages, propaganda, mind control, fake news, half-truths, or just an all-out lie. This is a list of the movies there that has been building up towards this moon ritual prophecy. Moonwalkers in 2015. You have Operation Avalanche 2016. You have Fly Me to the Moon, which hasn't even came out yet, sometime in 2024. Now, there have been also signs from the past, like Superman 2, 1980, that pictured a Kryptonian on the moon that was a female. The first scene in Superman 2 of Kryptonians on the moon. Kryptonian, that's just another word for the Antichrist. That's just another word for a Christ-like figure on the moon was female. So we have to go back to the symbols of the moon. What does the moon symbolize? The feminine energy. The feminine energy. And there it is in Superman 2. Now I'm going to bring it all home with, there was also a scene in that film on the moon in Superman 2 of the mission of these U.S. astronauts, and the mission was Artemis. And sure enough, in the year 2020, they come out with a movie titled Artemis Fowl. So those are definitely poking the eyes, signs of some type of energy being built for a ritual. Now, I want to go into the ritual itself, which I believe is something I like to refer to as mirror timelines, which in essence will give you an idea of everything's backwards in time. History repeats itself. History rhymes. Now, what did we say in the very beginning? We said that the symbols of the moon, what does the moon symbolizes? Time and feminine energy. And in that definition of time, was the moon cycle phases can represent a rhythm of time. Now, if history repeating itself, if history rhymes, and it's nothing more than back to the future, then one could almost state that there are something called mirror timelines. And the mirror timeline of this ritual started with NASA. As you well know, Nazis, Masonic, occult organization, which that's how they operate, announced they're going back to the moon in 2019. So, which was their 50-year anniversary of their alleged moon landings in 1969. 50 years. An anniversary is a ritual. Let's get that straight. So, I'm looking at what events occurred in 1969, and we had racial tensions, geopolitical turmoil, and of course, the moon missions. Now, so I'm like, well, that's just coincidental. That would literally reflect what's going on in the year 2019. That's very coincidental. But every year's got to mean something, right? Every year has a meaning. So let's go up to 2020. What significant things happened in the year 2020? Well, we all know what we got. We got the C virus in 2020. But let's go back 50 years from 1969. We get the year 1918. And what happened in the year 1918? The Spanish flu. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. You telling me a 50-year anniversary cycle just so happened to mirror the events of 2020 and 1918? You know, people were actually saying that. So, every year's gotta mean something. So let's go up to 2021. What significant event happened in the year 2021? Well, that was Donald Trump's impeachment trial. So you would take the year 1918 and go back 50 years, you get 1868. And what happened in the year 1868? Drum roll, please. The impeachment trial of Andrew Johnson. Now, all this might seem very coincidental, and one could definitely argue that, well, you're going by the Gregorian calendar, and everyone knows that's some made up Roman BS. chances are off about 5 to 10 years. So you have to do your own nitpicking or observational awareness to see what fits and what don't. But I'm going to get into the prophecy part of our 3-part moon ritual prophecy right now. Now, I did this continuously to 2024. Mind you, that NASA stated that's when they wanted boots on the ground on the moon in 2024. The year that's mirrored is 1718. And what significant event happened in 1718? On June 26th of 1718, Peter the Great's son, Tsarevich Alexei Petrovich of Russia, dies from the effects of torture after being sentenced to death by his father for plotting against him. Who is the great son of Russia today in the year 2024? Vladimir Putin. And I'm going to go on record and say this right now. Vladimir Putin will mysteriously die in the year 2024. Now, when exactly is that date? Well, anytime between now and the end of the year 2024, I would state my high expectations. It would be in October for an October surprise. As you well know, October is a very occult month. And I looked it up, and it just so happens to be Vladimir's birthday on October the 7th. And we all know how the spirits and divine intervention is. So I would stake everything on October that Vladimir Putin will mysteriously die in the year 2024. Now, if I'm wrong, publicly get on here and apologize, and I think I will retire from prophecy predicting officially. Now, but that's not the end of it. That's not the end of the moon ritual prophecy. It will ultimately culminate with the ascension of the Antichrist, which will be female. Because, like I said before, this world is ran by 3 different things: symbols, rituals, and sacrifices. The elite, Illuminati, mystery school system, whatever you want to call them, goes by. We need a manifest destiny, so we need a sacrifice. That's the way it was during ancient times. They performed a ritual, they performed a sacrifice to manifest whatever they wanted. And that's a pretty big sacrifice if you're going to take out the head of state of Russia. That's a pretty damn big sacrifice for that, to usher in the feminine Antichrist, which I believe all roads lead to for this moon ritual prophet.